for somebody like me, born way up in the mountains of Nepal, a very remote village, 5 days walk from the nearest bus stop. Optimism has to be your destiny. In those days, you want water, walk all the way to the river. That was the job of women. Hours and hours spent, my mother, fetching that water. It was so precious. There was no school, no health post. So as a little boy, I went to Kathmandu, the capital city of Nepal. Wow, electricity by the standards of my village. Everything was glittering, yeah? I saw a white jeep that said UNICEF, UNICEF. UNICEF, what is UNICEF? As I would trek back to my village, I would see along the road porters carrying big bundles of pipes for water supply. I said, wow, they were liberating women, UNICEF. Another occasion similarly, carrying these big corrugated iron sheets, roofing material for schools in the villages, and vaccines. It was very exciting. Whole bunch of kids going there, lining up for vaccines. Who does it? UNICEF. I thought, wow, in this world that sometimes seems very selfish and cruel and uncaring, there is an organization that is caring, that focuses on the most vulnerable, and has a track record of success. So now as I think about UNICEF providing those things, for the last 75 years, is not just the water and the medicine and the roofing sheets for the school, but really transforming the lives of people. Hope.
My name is Florence Nete. I'm a single mother. And a grandmother too, as well. There is COVID here in Ghana. I'm very scared of the virus. People are dying. And I'm looking for my second shot here. I'm looking for it. Me and a mother in America, we are all the same. She's a human being, I'm a human being. But we, the Africans, we lack the vaccine. The problem here, we don't have enough. That's why. We are praying for it. I have to protect myself so that I can take very good care of my children.
Well, who cares about those people dying in Africa? Well, let's take care of ourselves. We can do everything by ourselves. The hell with the rest of the world. No, sir. We don't live in that world. That world is gone. When it comes to pandemic, epidemic diseases, smallpox, polio, measles, or COVID-19, no country is safe until all countries and people everywhere are safe If the disease remains in one part of the world, it is bound to come to your place also. It's in our hands and power to solve this problem. We have no right to be pessimistic. UNICEF is the largest distributor of vaccines in the world. We have respect, trust, legitimacy, and therefore things that UNICEF can do, not many other organizations can do. My name is Kul Gautam, former Deputy Director of UNICEF.
How did it begin?
That's an amazing and inspiring story.
Γεννήθηκα το 1937 εδώ στην πόλη των Γραβενών και έχω ζήσει όλη μου τη ζωή εδώ. Η ζωή μας ήταν ήσυχη και δεν ήμασταν πλούσια οικογένεια εμείς. 8 παιδιά ήμασταν, 8 αδέρφια. Πάντα να μάθετε να κοιτάτε δίπλα σας. Και αυτό ήταν και μια συμβουλή της μάνας μου, της Μακαρίτισσας. Ήμουνα 5 χρονών. Μια μέρα όπως οι άλλες. Ήρεμα, ήσυχα. Και ξαφνικά όλοι οι μανάδες βγήκαν και φώναζαν τα παιδιά να πάνε στο σπίτι. Κάτι φοβερό σας λέω. Οι οποίοι έρχονται να μας κάνουν κακό. Από εκείνη τη στιγμή εκείνο που φόλιασε και στα ακούσματα και στην ψυχή μας ήταν η λέξη πόλεμος. Ήταν ο δεύτερος παγκόσμιος πόλεμος και ήταν η εισβολή των Γερμανών στην Ελλάδα. Τα λείψαμε και το χωριό και γυρίζαμε στα βουνά ξυπόλυτοι και ρακένδυτοι. Η πείνα. Η πείνα. Πείνα. Ξέρετε τι θα πει πείνα?
Nazi policy becomes extermination by starvation. They strip the country of its food. With transport disrupted and destroyed, famine kills 450,000 Greeks in 1941-42.
Δεν καταλαβαίναμε τότε, παιδιά, τι συνέβαινε, γιατί να φοβόμαστε, γιατί να πεινάμε, πώς να βλέπαμε εμείς παιδιά μικρά. Πολύ άσχημα πράγματα για την ψυχή των παιδιών. Η μητέρα μου ήταν ένας άνθρωπος που ήταν αισιόδοξος. Αύριο θα είναι μια καλύτερη μέρα, δεν είμαστε μόνοι μας. Ονομάζομαι Δημήτριος Σιώβας. Εγώ τότε ήμουνα από τα πρώτα παιδιά που βοήθησε η UNICEF, αλλά τότε λεγόταν UNRWA.
At first, help comes from UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Rehabilitation Agency.
Βιός που λέμε. Όταν από τη στέρηση πήγαμε, ξέρω, να έχουμε το υλικό στο σχολείο, γάλα να έχουμε, το ψαρόλαδο να έχουμε, ξέρω, το φαΐ σιγά σιγά, τα συσίτια. Εμένα μου άρεσε πάρα πολύ το φυστικό βούτυρο. Με τρέλει που λες. Άρχισε ο νέος να ονειρεύεται και όλα αυτά. Προσέφερε ελπίδα ότι πάμε στο καλύτερο.
The wounds will slowly heal, laid over by the scar of time.
Το τι τραυματισμούς υφίστατο η ψυχή μας δεν θεραπεύονται. Μένουν στην ψυχή ανεξίτελα και βεβαίως είναι και διδακτικά. Διδάσκουν κιόλας. Πώς βρήκατε αυτές τις φωτογραφίες? Καλά κάνατε. Αυτή είναι με τη γυναίκα. Και αυτό το αποδείξαμε από την πορεία της ζωής μας. Είχα μία γεμάτη ζωή. Κατά συνέπεια, εγώ λοιπόν στη ζωή μου την πέρασα με γνώμονα, οι δράσεις μου ήταν ανθρωποκεντρικές. Έγινα γιατρός και έγινα δήμαρχος στα Γρεβενά, αγαπημένη πόλη μου. Είναι πάρα πολύ σημαντικό αυτά που εμείς στερούμασταν και μας τα παρήχε, μας τα παρέξε η UNRWA, πάντα να μάθετε να κοιτάτε δίπλα σας. Δεν είμαστε μόνοι στη ζωή. Καλό.
In human history, great crises have come. Great wars have come. Periods of great disappointment, despondency, hopelessness. But humanity has always risen. After the war ended, peace came, the UN Charter was signed, the UN came into existence. Then the question, what do we do with UNRWA? We still need to provide a lot of relief and rehabilitation. They said, let's disband the UNRWA. And they created two organizations. One was to deal with the millions of refugees. And then let's establish another organization called UNICEF that would deal specifically with children.
Actor and comedian Danny Kaye.
Danny Kaye became UNICEF's first goodwill ambassador. And later on, many other illustrious stars. Harry Belafonte, Pele, the great football star, Audrey Hepburn. Audrey Hepburn was the most beautiful, the most elegant, the most famous, the most... Anyway, long story, sorry, I made it too long. They were able not only to mobilize money, but to mobilize public opinion, public sentiments, the sense of solidarity.
If we, the so-called adults of the world, assume the responsibility for children throughout the world, and perhaps our children can live in a more healthy, happy, and peaceful world.
The appeal was so powerful. UNICEF USA was the pioneer. And then USA adopted Trick or Treat.
Trick or treat, for UNICEF, trick or treat for UNICEF.
Made it nationwide, and Trick or Treat mobilized millions of dollars over time. That became the backbone of UNICEF's funding. Then in 1965, the Nobel Committee decided to award UNICEF the
Nobel Peace Prize.
So that was the highest honor that one could get. Can you get any higher than the Nobel Prize? Yes, you can. We'll come to that.
No, this and it. My dad, he used to call me Nightingale. That's why he named me Florence. He used to tell me, in future you'll be a nurse. It's like Florence Nightingale. That was my dream. But my dream didn't come true. It's a long story about love. I used to accompany my mom selling fresh fish at the market. That is where we start. Me and Joshua. A very cute man, nice, calm, and very gentle. And I used to trouble him. I used to trouble him a lot. But he loves me, so got married. We had 10 children. 10. He was an account clerk with a school. One day, somebody from school came and told me, when your husband came to work, he's not feeling well. So I'll send him to the hospital. So I rushed there. Pneumonia. Right. If you don't have money, you get sick. Yeah. That's why we are praying for the vaccine.
Ghana is a very hot country, scorching hot. When it comes to vaccines, the sun becomes our enemy.
The very moment you leave the vaccines in the sun, I can tell you, you will lose everything. You need specifically to use the UCC, that's the ultra coaching.
I'm Dr. Priscilla Wobil, and I work with UNICEF Ghana. In the mid-70s, vaccines had to be distributed widely across the world and maintained at a particular temperature. So UNICEF and other partners had to build a global cold chain. The first cold box was a wooden box, the Luxembourg cold box. It was first tested in Ghana, and it worked. It worked to ensure that the vaccines that are manufactured reach every child everywhere. So the immunization cold chain system that was built to immunize children is now the same system that is being used to vaccinate the world against COVID-19. COVAX, the coalition of partners that have come together to ensure that COVID-19 vaccines are manufactured and delivered equitably to all countries quickly.
Once upon a time, there lived a man and coronavirus. Coronavirus came to enter the man, and the man died. One day, a virus killed everybody in the world. He said that all that thing is for me now in the world.
She said, the virus take over the whole world. No boo mask. No boo mask. But I hope I put mask. Look at protect you. You know we can protect you.
These are teachers, fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters. What happens when they are no longer alive? Here in Ghana, less than 3% of the population have been vaccinated. Less than 3%. Fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters. Here in Ghana, we are in the early stages now of this pandemic.
One crisis after another crisis. Humanity had survived. Why? Because we have had inspiring leaders, inspiring teachers, inspiring personalities who have shown us that the problems can be overcome. In 1980, UNICEF got a new leader, James Grant.
James Grant, Executive Director of the United Nations Children's Fund, or UNICEF.
He sent out a message to all UNICEF staff all over the world.
13 million children die, 2/3 of whom could be preventable.
Why were they dying? Because they don't have this simple vaccination, which is very cheap, easily available in US and Europe, but not in poor countries. If we were to immunize all the children of the world, we could save a lot of lives.
In 1982, Grant launched a child survival and development revolution.
He said by the end of the decade, we should
Must reach 80%.
80% immunization, eradicate polio, eradicate diphtheria, whooping cough, tetanus, tuberculosis, a child survival revolution. All over the world, we'll mobilize international support, make it a high priority. Do it in a massive scale. Sounds like a good idea. If it could be done.
I just wanted to tell you about my voice. I have half the vocal cords you have. That's smoking. My name is Jacob Kayayan. I was the UNICEF program officer in Guatemala. I promised Mr. Grant that I wouldn't smoke anymore. Jim Grant. He was my guru, my professional father. One morning, I'm in the office, and I get a phone call. Mr. Grant is on the line. He says, Jacob, I met the president of El Salvador, and I thought, he does not call because he met the president of El Salvador. There's something coming. I was the representative for 7 countries, and 3 of them were in civil war.
El Salvador, a country no larger than Wales, is torn by civil war and terror.
Grant asked the president of El Salvador if he was vaccinating children. His answer was, Mr. Grant, you don't understand. My country is at war. The vaccinators do not want to go into areas where it was dangerous. If you don't vaccinate, children and women are paying the price of the war. So, Jim says, Jacob, you are going to do it. Stop the war. I couldn't say no to him. So I went to the Archbishop in San Salvador. I just said it very straight. Monsignor, we are proposing a truce so that children could be vaccinated. And he said, I don't think it's going to work. We have tried many times truces, and I don't see why they would accept it from you. And what argument can I give the man? So I said, okay, you know what, though? Maybe because of children they will accept. You see, UNICEF had the trust of government people and the guerrilla. Credibility. You build it brick by brick. You do things right thousands of times, and then people say, these guys we can trust. Both sides, guerrilla and army, both sides accepted our proposal. Put down the guns and provide full service to children. I was jumping of happiness. Yes, I did like he was happy. Yes. And so every year, twice, for 2 days each time, for 6 consecutive years, the war stopped completely. Each time, more than 400,000 children who were vaccinated against 5 deadly diseases.
For the very first time in history, war has been stopped for children.
We called it Days of Tranquility for a good reason.
Now, we have shown proof that it can be done. How can we sustain it? How can we improve it? And saving lives only one part. What's the point of saving them if you cannot improve the quality of life. It is not just the quantity of life, it's the quality of life. What do we need to do for quality of life? Remember, I asked, can you get any higher than the Nobel Prize? Well, I'll tell you the whole story. The Convention on the Rights of the Child was adopted in 1989.
Every child shall enjoy the following rights.
They have a right to survival, they have a right to their name, they have a right to health, education, to be protected from harm, from violence, abuse, exploitation, forever. But Jim Grant said, okay, now call for a World Summit for Children.
This weekend, when more than 70 of the world's leaders sit down together here in New York, it will be the first time a World Summit for Children be held.
From North and South, East and West, Asia, Africa, Latin America, Europe, that became the largest summit in the history of humanity, and it was a tremendous success. So there you see, UNICEF followed the principle that says children should be at the center of humanity because they are the future of humanity.
If there's a devil chasing you, would you stop? My name is Cornelius Williams, Associate Director, Child Protection, since early 90s. The world is now a more complex place. In high-income countries, in low-income countries, everywhere. At UNICEF, we are on a mission. We work over 190 countries. We are the partners of governments. When there's that devil chasing after us, the dark side of humanity,
Panic and pandemonium
we owe it to these children.
Has had a major impact.
This is not a job in a cigarette factory. It's not a job in a bank. It's about humanity. UNICEF today, we have the technical capability, the infrastructure, and the knowledge to continue to make a difference for children. We have to roll up our sleeves and do it. Nothing stops us. Nothing. Would you stop?
Yes. I've been doing a very hard work because of my children. And I'm proud God has seen me through. 5 of them have been to the university. Yes, very proud. So now, just look after the children in my community. Look after them well. Even though I'm a single mother, I have to give them everything they need. Everything. I love everybody. I love everybody. Anything at all you need, when you ask and I have, I will give you. And that's why I want to work so that I can pray over it every day.
Thank you. Where is your mom?
They're very scared. Scared of the virus. I hope the world send the vaccine so that they will protect the people of Ghana. It will protect the people of Ghana. That's my prayer. Because if you have, you have to give.
I recall going to the villages of our neighbors, walking up and down the hill. When the sun is about to set in the evening, you just go and knock on people's door and say, look, the night is coming, we are on our way, would you be kind enough to let us stay? They will let you stay. You stay there overnight, and then early in the morning, you start walking. Today, as I look back, I say, oh my God, generosity of people. They had so little, but they shared. If you have generosity, if you have trust, if you have a sense of solidarity, optimism is your destiny. We are luckier than all of our predecessors. We now have the technology, we now have the communications capacity. We can reach everybody, especially now. It's a fact of life. You are not safe until the whole world is safe. That is the key. No matter how powerful and how rich you are, we live in an interdependent world. Children should be everybody's business. Film stars and rock stars, presidents and prime ministers and kings. And they should be your business.
That if we, the so-called adults of the world, take on the world's problems of children, I think perhaps the world will be well on its way to understanding itself a little better, and perhaps our children can live in a more healthy, happy, and peaceful world.